Hi, good day everyone, especially to you, ma'am. My name is Judilyn Hangad from Grade 3B. Today, I'll be answering a few questions about the changes in the curriculum after the pandemic and how these changes affect as a future educator. I'll be sharing my thoughts based on my own experience during the pandemic, especially how I manage my studies and what I've learned from it. I also talk about the challenges and opportunities that comes with new curriculum and how I plan to use the knowledge in my future classroom. That I've introduced myself, I will start answering the question one by one based on my own experience and opinions. So let's begin with the first question. So, in the first question, why do you think the curriculum had to change after the pandemic? Do you agree with the changes? Why or why not? I believe the curriculum had to change because the way we learn also changed during the pandemic. Students were learning from home using gadgets, modules, or online platforms. So this situation showed us that the old curriculum was not flexible enough. Yes, I agree with the changes because they made learning more inclusive and adaptable to different situation. It made us realize that learning should not only happen inside a classroom but also in different environment. Now, let's proceed to question number 2. What learning style worked best for you during the pandemic? Online, modular, blended? How will you use that is your future classroom? For me, blended learning worked best because I was able to learn at my own pace through modules. But I also had chances to ask questions and interact with my classmates online. In my future classroom, I would like to use blended learning too. I want to give students printed materials for independent work, but also have time for discussion and activities either face to face or through digital means. In question number 3, if you were teaching in a place with weak internet and few gadgets, how would you help your students learn using the new curriculum? So, if I were teaching in an area with weak internet and limited gadgets, I would rely more on printed modules and physical learning materials. So, I would also use activity based learning that does not need gadgets like games, group works, or role playing. I also do home visits and small group sessions if possible. So, in question number 4, how can you take care of your students' mental health and emotions as a future teachers? Give at least one specific way. One way I would take care of my students' mental health is by creating a safe environment, welcoming classroom environment. So I will make them time to check in even in a simple question like, how are you today, class? And because I want them to feel that they are not just learners but also individuals whose feeling matters. So I will also include short mindfulness activities or fun breaks to reduce stress. Now, let's proceed to question number 5. So, what are the good and bad sides of using digital tools like Zoom or Google Classroom? How can you make sure all students can access them? So, the good side is that this tool allows us to learn even we're far apart. Students can access lesson, submit assignments, and communicate anytime. But the downside is that everyone has not internet connection or gadgets, and to make sure all students can access them, I will give printed copies for those who can't go online and schedule meetings based on their availability. It's all about being flexible and understanding their situation. And in number 6 question, why is it important for teachers to understand law like RA 10533 and DepEd BALCP? How do these support curriculum changes? So it's important for teachers to understand this law because they guide how education should be delivered, especially in emergencies like the pandemic. RA 10533 specifies learning-centered and flexible approaches, while the BELCP help us to continue learning despite the crisis. This law support curriculum changes by making education more responsive and inclusive. So, in last question, how will you teach both academic lesson and life skills like problem solving and communication at the same time in your class? So, I believe the best way to teach both academic lesson and life skills is to connect them in a real life situation. For example, when I teach math, I can give problem that involve decision making. So, in group activities, students can practice communication and teamwork. I'd also include the reflection time where they can share their thoughts and experiences. Learning should prepare them for life and not just for exam. And that would be all for my answer. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope I was able to share some meaningful insight as a future educators.